Rams fans, welcome in on this edition of Rams Showcase. The Rams getting some new drip, plus Rams looking to host at least one playoff game, and later under the SoFi lights for Week 12, we preview Buccaneers at Rams. Let's rock.
We here, man. We gotta take advantage of victory on one way. Let's go.
Welcome to Rams Showcase. And now, here's your host, Sheriff Joe Bags.
Yes, welcome to it. Rams Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags at Rams Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags, ramshowcase.com, where you follow along on the internet. Also, one half of Tuna and the Sheriff. That's a podcast live streamed on the First and Tuna Podcast YouTube channel, as well as the Rams Showcase Facebook page, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. LA time. Check us out there. As this coming Friday, of course, diving into the football game that we'll be talking about here tonight. Pretty cool stuff. And plenty of episodes to go back and look on. I think this next one's going to be like episode 65 or so. So, hey, hang out with us all season. And make sure you subscribe to the First and Tuna Podcast YouTube channel, as that's where a lot of attention's headed right now. So, yeah, that's just good business, man. Also, shout out to, first of all, Payo Time helping me out on the intro there. Host one half of the hosting of the First Down Rams show that is on Wednesday nights. Absolutely incredible show. Love those dudes. Love that show. It's a good time, man. Great community of some Rams creators that we're kind of like, I feel like there's so many, dude, but it's like, I feel like there's like different like groupings, oddly enough, but everybody gets along and like everybody's cool with everybody, which I think is the coolest thing ever. Everybody's saying, we're all here for the same reason, man, which is just to be hyped about the Rams. Easy to do with an 8-2 team, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you check us all out there. Them out, us out, or, check everybody out. It's plenty of Rams stuff to talk about. But actually, this is kind of like the biggest news. We're getting into that time of the season where there's not a lot of news. It's more just like, we got football games this weekend. That's where our attention's at, you know what I mean? But this week, we actually did get a rumor that kind of popped out here. So as far as the report itself, this is a person that I am unfamiliar with. I kind of tried to peek at their credentials. No reason to believe that this person would be lying, but also no reason to trust this person, if that makes any sense. Not that they're untrustworthy. I'm not just going to take what I see from somebody who looks like they're qualified to talk about stuff and just take that for what their word is. You know what I mean? Because obviously, I could say anything under my bio too. I could just put Harvard under my bio. They don't check. You can just do that if you want to. Hot tip for social media. But we did get a report this week that the Rams have filed for new uniforms this offseason. So they are unconfirmed reports saying that the Rams have filed with the NFL to get new uniforms or do uniform modifications, which is, I feel like, more accurate to what we may be seeing. Because, again, these are unconfirmed. This is not a for sure thing. It feels real. I'll say that much. It feels like this is something that's going to happen, but this is the only time I'm going to talk about it on Rams Showcase. We talked about it on Tuna and the Sheriff on the Wednesday episode this week, but it's all I'm going to talk about for it until we do get some hard, this is true, this is what's happening, this is what we're going to do, anything like that. So when we get the confirmation that the Rams did file, if that is the case, then we'll kind of dive into what I think that the Rams will kind of do as far as uniforms, and I've got some guesses already. But the report mentioned the Rams will take the template of the rivalry's uniforms, and it's unclear if that means that the number change is going to happen, like as far as like the gradient goes, or if they're going to put those little dots that are in the the rivalry's uniforms. I don't know if that's necessarily the plan, but I also assume it means that the sleeve. I think the main thing that my assumption is that the rivalry's sleeve will feature the full horn, which I think every Rams fan saw the original horn that's on like these white jerseys or the blue jerseys that we got technically first, and we're like, that's not the horn. It's like, that doesn't count, dude. You can't do that. And then the rivalry's uniforms came out, and it's like, oh, that's what we wanted. Why didn't you just do that? Like, that's exactly what we thought was going to happen, and that looks awesome. So let's just keep that rolling. And so I would imagine that that's going to be incorporated, that we'll have largely these same uniforms, but there will be a little bit slight modifications to them. So Teams have regularly, by the way, under Nike, like have added the gradient just to move away from it in just a few years. I don't know if you remember when the Jags did the gradient helmet, and then the Atlanta Falcons did the gradient where the jersey kind of faded into the pants. Looked hilarious. Looked like where they were wearing like Urkel pants and stuff. That's how I saw it. I don't know. But I also think that like wearing same color pants and jersey looks ridiculous because to me it looks like a onesie. So when they wore those, it was like, it's like, why are their pants coming up to their nipples, dude? That's crazy. So that's kind of just what it looked like to me, but either way. But Nike seems to go really big on some rebrands and some freshen ups, I guess, just to pull back later. We saw it with the Cleveland Browns. We saw it with the New York Jets. We've seen it with Atlanta. We've seen it with Jacksonville. We've seen it with Tampa Bay, the Rams' opponent this week. They did those like really ridiculous, like Flintstone-looking numbers, but they pulled that back, obviously. So they tend to do this. They tend to go too far and then come back. And I warned you about this the second these uniforms released. It was like, yeah, we have these now. Probably pull back in a little bit of a way where we can come back. I know a lot of people are concerned about the horn on the helmet. They want that thing closed up so it doesn't have that gap in there. I personally disagree. I think the gap is absolutely necessary. I think it's critical to match the logo to kind of show that the horn is twisting. I don't know. I like it a lot, actually. I know that not everybody does. You're entitled to your opinion. I would never tell you your opinion's wrong. Inherently, opinions cannot be wrong. If it's right to you, you're right. That's fine, right? You're allowed to be right. So that's my opinion. I think it's absolutely perfect. I would be not necessarily disappointed because I'll rock whatever. Like Mark on the Rams Up podcast mentioned it before. He said the line of like, never met a Rams uniform I didn't like. So whatever, man. They represent our Rams, and I think that's ultimately how I feel about it, is like that what they represent, which is our squad. Everything's good, dude. It's all good. I come out there in pink and purple. I don't care, man. Just play some good football. Mainly is my concern here. But yeah, we've seen that plenty of times where Nike will pull back. So I've always expected that the gradient number would go away. It's possible that the gradient on the pants, on the royal pants on the side, would go away as well, but I kind of like their meaning behind that, so I don't know if that's necessarily a change that would happen. So that's where we're at right now. I will say this, though, that I think we're very realistically looking at the Atlanta Falcons game later this year in Atlanta, Monday Night Football, as the final game that we see the bone jerseys. I really do think that. They're personally my favorite of what we currently have, but I know that's an unpopular opinion as well, and it does seem like the team is willing to go away from that. We've pulled back pretty heavy on wearing bone, including pants. So we've only worn bone pants 3 times on the season, and that was 2 times in the bone jersey, so bone on bone, the bone zone, and then on Thursday Night Football, Week 5 against the San Francisco 49ers, we wore the bone pants. So that's it. It does seem to be getting phased out, and I mean, so be it. I mean, like I said, it's my personal favorite, but at the same time, I mean, I'm just here for good football, man. It's not a fashion show. I don't really care what they wear out there. It's cool to get into uniforms, and I like uniforms. I like the whole history of them and stuff like that. But as far as like my pick of like, I'm not gonna get mad at something that they give us. Like, I see that a lot where people will get upset. Like they'll see like the new jerseys is the perfect example of like people like, that's stupid. I hate that, and it's like, well, it's ours though. I don't know, man. So yeah, there is that part, but it does seem like we'll see something from the Rams as far as the change goes this offseason. We kind of have been expecting that the bone is kind of getting phased out. We kind of already felt that coming. But as far as an alternate, I'm really not sure what the Rams are going to try to do there. I would assume a yellow jersey in some capacity, possibly a white pant, especially if we are going away from the bone color scheme. I do anticipate that. So maybe that's why the Rams did apply for this. It's like, okay, let's just go ahead and get rid of the bone and also adjust our current uniforms to kind of just, I don't want to say appease the fans, but I think that's kind of exactly what it is. So we'll see. And then also on a sidebar on that note, as far as all the uniform stuff goes, I don't anticipate in any capacity that the rivalries uniforms will become anything other than the rivalries uniforms, wearing them once a year. I mean, we get 2 more games in the rivalries uniforms. I fully anticipate that we're just going to see those 2 games, and then they're going to fade off. They're really cool. Don't get me wrong. I love them a lot. They look so sick out there, especially on the field under the SoFi, I forget what the thing is called, what they call that. there's like a really scientific word for the roof, and I forgot now. But it's like I don't know. It's a big word. Can't think of it right now. But under that, it looked real sick out there, man. But I would just like that's not the point of those. Is to make them your regular uniforms. It's crazy. So like that midnight color, which is black, it's not in our color scheme at all. So I think it'd be really weird to have a black alternate that we just kind of rock for sure. Like, you know, I think it'd be out of character for us, especially. So I don't anticipate that. I don't anticipate the rivalries uniforms wiggle their way into being something else. I think that the league wouldn't want that because then other teams would be like, wait, we can wear these all the time? Like the Patriots ones were absolutely so sick. The Jets haven't worn theirs yet, but those are absolutely awesome. Seattle, Buffalo, those ones are kind of lame, just white and then just like kind of mixed with that. Like the Buffalo Bills ones look like, and I don't say this as a derogatory way at all, but like they look like women's jerseys, like how you would see them like on NFL Shop where like, oh, this one's all shiny and fancy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because they think that like all women are just like the same person. They're like, oh, it's pink and shiny. Like, you know what I mean? So whatever. But that's going to come off weird. But yeah, I just don't anticipate that that's going to be a thing. That's all. Let's take a look at the playoff picture here as the Rams creeping into the second slot here in the NFC playoff race, defeating Seattle Seahawks, of course, taking on the Bucs this week. Philly holding on to number 1. They did defeat the Detroit Lions in Dallas this week. Very losable game for the Philadelphia Eagles, for sure. Division game on the road, and Dallas is not playing bad football. The Chicago Bears, yes, you heard that correct, in November are leading their division. They defeated the Minnesota Vikings. They are 7-3 this week. Take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 4th slot right now. They did lose to the Buffalo Bills, dropping them to 6-4. They take on the Rams this week, SNF. And as far as the opponents go, for what would be the opponents if the season were to end right now, Seattle will be taking on the Bucs. They lost to the Rams last week in Tennessee this week. Green Bay, 6-3-1. They did beat the New York Giants, but they are really tending to struggle right now. They take on the Vikings this week. Should be a good game. San Francisco 49ers would play the Rams this week if the season were to end today, and they are 7-4. They did defeat the Cardinals. This week they play the Carolina Panthers on Monday Night Football. So that's actually a decent game. The Carolina Panthers are sitting just outside of the playoff race right now, as well as the Detroit Lions, who the Rams will be playing later on this year. Dallas Cowboys and Minnesota Vikings sitting on the outside of the playoff picture. So this race is getting real tight, real awesome, real fun to watch. As, of course, Philadelphia, great game this week against the Dallas Cowboys. So if the Rams can pull out a win against Tampa Bay and then Dallas can beat the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously the Rams would end this week as the number 1 seed, despite what anybody else does. Doesn't really matter at this point if the Rams are able to take care of their business. Losing means the Rams cannot get into first place because even if the Philadelphia Eagles lose, if the Rams lose also, they still hold the tiebreaker head-to-head. Week 3, the Rams lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, so they will still retain that number 1 slot. The only way that the Eagles can lose the number 1 slot is with a loss and Rams win. We're not really super worried about that kind of stuff just yet. This is week 12. We are starting to get into that where it's like we're getting real dicey in there, and it's like the smallest stuff. I mean, it's like we're in week 12. Thursday Night Football is what, Buffalo and Houston this week, I believe. So for that game, I mean, the Rams beat the Houston Texans, but other teams maybe didn't beat the Houston Texans, so strength of victory may come in. So we actually, as Rams fans, with watching an AFC versus AFC game, we don't play the Bills. We did play and beat the Houston Texans in week 1, so strength of victory, we want the Texans to win. You know, it's one of those weird ones. Like, obviously, we beat the Titans as well. All the AFC teams that we beat, we want them now to do really well. That only helps the Rams if those teams do really well. Baltimore is a great example of that, of like we caught them at a time where it's unfortunate for them that they were pretty beat up, but we won, and that's all that matters. And no one cares about injuries when you're looking at standings. It's like, well, yeah, but Lamar didn't play. No one cares. Win or lose, dude. Did you win or did you lose? I don't want to hear, yeah, but, you know. So, obviously, those AFC teams, we really want them to do well. That'll only help out our strength of victory. And like I said, there is some teams in here that have already lost to some of those teams. Indy is a big one as well. Any team that they can beat as far as ending NFC playoff picture members, that certainly helps the Rams since the Rams were able to beat them. So that's kind of where we're at right now, heading into week 12, of course. You know, we're we're getting into the thick of it, man. And this NFC playoff race is getting real sick right now. So I know a lot of people think the Bears are fake. We're getting into late November. People are starting to tell you who they are. Time to believe them. Minnesota Vikings are falling off. Time to believe them. They're maybe not that good. Green Bay, just doing okay. Time to believe them. Maybe they're only okay. Week 2, they were the Super Bowl champions and gonna go undefeated. Now look at them. Just doing fine, man. Matthew Golden does okay. I think that they don't really know how to get him involved yet. Then, of course, you have Philadelphia, who is playing kind of clunky, but they're still winning, so you got to give them that credit. Tampa Bay's in a weird spot. They have lost 2 straight games. We'll, of course, talk about them pretty heavy here in a moment. Seattle and San Fran both have the 2 most recent Rams wins in that situation, so obviously we're getting into that real snug spot, man. But Dallas, I think, is a team to keep your eyes on. Carolina's a team to keep your eyes on. Detroit, certainly still going to win that division, I think. I think that they can overtake the Chicago Bears. If nothing else, though, I think at least Detroit bumps out I would say Green Bay or San Fran that they'll get in front of to get into the playoffs. Minnesota, I don't think makes it. Dallas we'll kind of see, I guess. But that's where your NFC playoff race is looking like right now. It's getting fun, man. It's Rams are right there, dude. 8-2, tied for the best record in the NFC. Just that head-to-head loss against Philly is keeping them out of that number 1 slot right now. And obviously the way that last year went, being able to win a playoff game was absolutely incredible. You can never get mad about that. But we also, I don't even want to say the term robbed. It's like we just couldn't have our home playoff game at SoFi Stadium, which is a huge bummer. So I think that being one of the top 4 teams in this list here, I think is absolutely critical for this Rams team to get that home game. I think that you'll see a home field advantage unlike we've seen in a long time. And I think a big push on that will be like, you guys didn't even get to see this team in the playoffs last year. Like, because it was in Arizona against Minnesota because of the fires and stuff. The whole LAFD and all that, absolutely incredible. And then to Philadelphia the next week, and then the season ended. So we weren't able to get a playoff game at SoFi last year, even though we had a home game. So definitely unfortunate. As we take a peek at the NFC West here, the Rams in first place, 8-2, 5-game winning streak. They are currently 2-1 in the NFC West. And we get 2 games against the Arizona Cardinals and 1 left against the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are 7-3. They will host the Rams again week 16 on Thursday Night Football. They'll be in their rivalries uniforms for that one. They look very much like the Oregon Ducks. So they're cool and stuff like that, but I'm just not sure if I don't know if it's bias or if I just, because I also love the Jets rivalries uniforms, and the Patriots, I think, nailed it as well. Arizona did a really good job also. I think that those are pretty cool. I would like to see more mix-ups as far as colors and stuff go. I know New England did it. I think the Jets did it too, but we did matching. Seahawks are doing matching. Arizona matched. San Fran matched. So a lot of teams matched pants and jersey color, but it's irrelevant. San Fran, they're in third place right now, 7-4 record. They have not yet had their bye. No more games against the Rams or the Cardinals. The only division game they have left is one against the Seattle Seahawks in Week 18. So they are damn near done with their division games. So that actually kind of makes it harder for them to rally a little bit to close the season. And the Arizona Cardinals, 3-7 in fourth place of the NFC West, pretty much falling away from any 2025 conversations as we head into the stretch of the season, where the race between these two, I mean, obviously, San Fran feels like they're far away from us because they're in third place, but I mean, we're 8-2, they're 7-4. Like, it's pretty in there, man. So this race, as we get to the end of the season, is going to be really, really fun to watch. It's not just the NFC West race. Obviously, you want that top slot there because you want to be in one of the top 4 spots in the NFC playoff race so that you can just get a home game. You don't want to hit the road for the playoffs. Those atmospheres are absolutely crazy, and you could be dealing with like a Chicago who is like, you give those fans a home playoff game in January? Dude, no, I don't want any part of that. All right? I'll be honest. I'm not scared of the Bears or anything like that, but like, I don't want to do that. That sounds miserable, man. Like, just make them come to LA, man. Like, for sure. We got to stay ahead of that. Because anytime we play somebody at SoFi, massive advantage. Then if you're going to Green Bay, going to Seattle, going to Philly, going to Chicago, like, you don't want to mess with any of that. Make them come to you. So let's get that 1 seed. How about? We got a big old football game going on this weekend, Sunday Night Football. We got to wait all dang day, dude. going to be okay, though, as the Bucs coming to town take on our Los Angeles Rams. We got your full game preview. That's right after this break. It's Ram Showcase. Welcome back in, Ram Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags. The 6-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to town take on the 8-2 Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium. This game kicks off at 5:50 p.m. on NBC and Peacock. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, and Melissa Stark will be on the call. No distribution map, of course, because this is a nationally televised game. Sunday night football prime time under the SoFi lights. Gotta love that. For you bettors out there, Rams are -6.5, -330 on the money line. The over-under sitting at 49.5. So the books are ballparking this game about 28-21 in favor of the Rams. Let's get into our pants picks here. The game that is sweeping the nation. I don't know why you don't play. Your mom does. It's a blast, man. It's for everybody. Everybody can participate. The Rams are in white jerseys at home for the game against the Bucs this weekend, and clean sweep. We're all going soul, dude. We are me, Payo, Tom, Tuna, Rams House. We're soul sisters out here, dude. And we also got a comment on the YouTube channel. Another pick for soul. So it's just soul across the board, dude, which is pretty cool stuff. But the Rams in the white jerseys at home versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who will be wearing their regular reds. So good stuff there. I'll tell you my purpose behind going soul is that this is the Aaron Donald kind of honor game, and they're giving away the bobblehead, the Super Bowl GOAT bobblehead thing. And I mean, I figured if we're going to wear white jerseys to honor Aaron Donald in some capacity, then we're probably going to rock what we wore in the Super Bowl, right? White on soul? I mean, that's the best look for the Rams. I think that's, as much as I love, like, bone on soul and stuff like that, I love that combo. As far as, like, a classic, just a genuine, just badass uniform combo, the royal helmet, white jersey, and then soul pants on the Rams. I just think that's like the most legendary look coming from our Rams, which is cool stuff. Take a look at the history of this matchup here. This is the 30th all-time meeting between the Rams and the Buccaneers. The Rams lead the all-time series 19-10. First ever game between these two came on November 6th of 1977. That was a 31-0 win by the Rams. That was also, though, in fairness, that was like that era of Bucs football that was like notably terrible when they had just started. Most recent game between these two came on November 6th of 2022. So what was that, exactly 55 years later, something like that? That our most recent game was. That was a 16-13 win by the Buccaneers. Rams have won 3 of the last 4 and 8 of the last 10 against the Bucs, so doing a good job there. Bucs' longest win streak was 3. That came in 2000 to 2002, which crazy, because I don't know if you remember those years for the Rams, but very, very good. That game in 2000, by the way, did happen in December of 2000, so it was the following season. I know what you're thinking. You're like, they didn't lose. They won that game. It was the NFC Championship. I know. Okay, I know. 11-6. I was there. Not there, but I was alive. But that game was December of 2000, and then they didn't play in 2003. Rams won again in 2004. So that playoff game, like I said, January of 2000. Some notable matchups on this one. I'm gonna request some help on this. This may be a trend that we do here regularly. Just because I'll tell you the games that I remember. I know that there is others. I know that there were other crazy games, but that's where you come in, dude. I was born in 1991, dude. I need some help, man. I need some help. I need you to tell me what your favorite games are between these two teams. But for me, some notable moments here. Rams defeating Tom Brady at home during the playoffs. I'll take that all day. That was the he's got cup again, which is absolutely pinnacle business, man. You can't get better than that. Absolutely love it. The Rams defeated the Bucs in 2000 to go to the Super Bowl. This is a game we just talked about, 11-6. Dude, that catch was so crispy, man. Bucs fans will tell you it was incomplete too, but they're just liars. You got to watch out for that. Rams Bucs in Tampa. There was the crazy game. I don't remember the exact year. It must have been like 2015, maybe 14. That there was that crazy long lightning delay. I was sitting at the bar and I'm just like, eventually like, okay, man, geez, like I've been sitting here for like 2.5 hours. Like it was a while. I don't know exactly how long the lightning delay was, but the game comes back and there's like a minute and a half to go. Like that whole delay was like, can we just end the game real quick? Like it's probably gonna be okay. I know the rules, but yeah, it was one of those where it kind of came back and there was just a couple minutes left and the Bucs kind of start driving a little bit, but they get to 4th down and then Jameis Winston rolls out to the left, and as he's kind of looking, he passes the line of scrimmage, and he looks like he's still looking for a pass, and then Robert Quinn just comes up behind him. Now, I'm imagining that that's the noise he made when he did it. Unconfirmed, but I feel pretty good about it. But those are from my lifetime, the games that I remember and recall and kind of hold closely to me as far as the Rams-Bucs history goes. But I want to know your favorite Rams-Bucs games below, wherever you can hear or see me. Lots to look for in this game. On the Bucs side, by the way, we did get a report here recently as I started recording that Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield, Emeka Egbuka, and were among 6 players who were limited in practice today because of an illness. I've got no further details on that. Like I said, it kind of happened as I'm sitting here talking to you, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on with them, but something to keep our eyes on. Those are big names, so something going around the Bucs locker room, which is unfortunate heading into this game. But the Bucs have lost their last 2 games. That was home against the Patriots and at the Bills. So a couple of AFC losses. That's not something that's going to absolutely murder you, but obviously you want to be able to pull out any wins that you can. This is the Bucs' final road game until December 21st. If I'm not mistaken, it's the 19th. That's like a little under a month until they hit the road again. So after this, they go home for quite a while. They'll play a few games there, of course. 4 of the last 5 and 5 of the last 7 games for the Bucs are on the road. So they'll have their stretch. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. I feel pretty good about it. In their last 2 losses, the Bucs have scored 23 and 32 points, respectively. So they are still scoring, but not getting it done on defense. That passing defense, I think, is becoming a little bit of a liability for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Also, doing research for this game, I always run over depth charts, rosters, coaching staffs, and all that stuff, front offices, just to kind of see if I recognize any names. I've covered this team for like 14 years, so a lot of these names, even like quick little practice squad guys, I've mentioned them here, so they tend to stick out to me sometimes. But one thing that stuck out to me when I was researching the Buccaneers and their coaching staff is all their coaches, dude. They have too many. I think they have too many coaches. So this is just their coordinators. Head coach and coordinators. Head coach Todd Bowles. Great guy. Run game coordinator and offensive line coach Kevin Carberry. Passing game coordinator George Edwards. Run game coordinator for the defense and outside linebacker coach Larry Foote, former player, awesome guy. Offensive coordinator Josh Grizzard. Passing game coordinator, I'm going to go with Hinson. I'm not sure of the pronunciation there, and then a special teams coordinator, Thomas McGahee. So you've got head coach, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coordinators. Tampa, what are we doing, dude? And then I think there's like 20. Yeah, I didn't write it down. There's like 23 other coaches on the roster outside of these 6 coordinators and a head coach. Bro, what are we doing out here, man? That's a lot of coordinating. That's a lot of coordination, man. On the Rams side, Rams could be 9-1 in control of the NFC, of course, if it hadn't blown the lead in Week 3 to Philadelphia. The other loss was in overtime against San Fran, so the Rams could very easily be a 10-0 team right now. You almost don't want to be, and I know that hurts your heart to hear that, but that's a lot of pressure. When you're sitting there with an undefeated season, going into Week 12, people are talking about you, So you almost want a loss or 2 in there just so people kind of shut up. Don't talk about us until like Week 17, dude, all right? I guess it makes me nervous. Rams, like I said, second in the NFC right now, first in the NFC West with wins over Seattle and San Fran. They did split with San Fran, so those wins are in their pocket right now, of course. But the win over San Fran for the Rams was bigger than the Niners win over the Rams. That was an overtime 3-point win for the Niners. Rams just kicked them right in the jugulars. So bigger win for us. That win looks stronger. They were both on the road though, so that's true. That's true. That's just a fact. That's I don't know what it means, but it is true. Also, we did get the news earlier today on Wednesday. Rams have added 3 players to IR this week, which makes me feel nervous. And also, the players that we added, I think, are a little bit of a surprise. So we got the information on Quentin Lake that he did have surgery on Tuesday, which does jump out to me because we were just hearing on Tuesday from Sean McVay saying, like, well, we're going to see. I mean, he's a pretty tough guy, so, we'll see. I was not expecting that it was going to be, he was already in surgery, And then Rob Havenstein, who I did not know was hurt enough to be on IR. I know we've had some things with Big Rob over the course of the season. And then Tyler Higbee. I had mentioned it to Tuna on Tuna and the Sheriff. I had said, it's like, do you think that adding Muse, that tight end, is like, do you think that means that one of our guys might be dealing with something? And he was like, I don't think so. And then it was like, I don't know, man. It's like, how many tight ends do we need? How many white dudes can play tight end? We just add them all, man. Like, so Tyler Higbee going to IR, that one definitely surprises me too. But I do think that this means that we could start to see a little bit of a Ferguson, wave, I suppose. So I think it's good news for Terrence Ferguson. Not that we ever want to see Tyler Higbee down, but I also will kind of check it with this, that I've kind of been operating under this very well could possibly be our final season with Tyler Higbee. So I really hope that we haven't watched our final game. He's one of those legendary guys. Came in the 2016 draft class with Jared Goff and has been around here ever since. So I hope we haven't seen the last of Tyler Higbee rocking Rams uniform out there on the field, but we'll see how he's feeling, if he's able to come back this year, and if he comes back next year for the Rams. He is under contract, but you know how this works. So was Coop. So we'll see what happens. And then the Rams did add outside linebacker Jesse Luketa to the practice squad. And then Rams did claim as well Christopher Smith II off of waivers from the Raiders. So he is a 5th-round pick in 23 to the Raiders from Georgia. He's a Bulldog, and he's under contract until the end of next season. So if he's awesome, we can kind of keep him around for a good price as well. There's no dead cap to cut him after the season, or even right now if we wanted to. So if Q Lake comes back and we decide Smith ain't doing it, then we can just get rid of him with no real harm, I suppose. But yeah, that's what happened there. He got waived by the Raiders, though, and we snagged him up there. Let's take a look at some milestones we are keeping our eyeballs on. So Matthew Stafford, I know we talk about him every single week with these things because he's all the way up there. He's marching to Canton with the way he's performing and racking up numbers. But he needs 426 passing yards to tie Matt Ryan for 8th most in NFL history. Matthew Stafford is currently 1,074 behind Rivers in 7th, which means that he would need to average 154 yards a game for the rest of the season to tie that. He is 1,722 behind Big Ben in 6th in NFL history, which would mean he would need to average about 246 yards a game for the rest of the season. It's absolutely doable. That's absolutely doable. And Rodgers is the 5th place, and he is, of course, still playing. He's a little hurt right now, but he is still adding to those numbers, so we won't be chasing him down quite yet. But we're closing that gap, though. Closing that gap a little bit. Also, Matthew Stafford currently leads the NFL in touchdown passes with 27. Next behind him is Dak and Jared Goff. They both have 21 each. The record for the Rams is 41. Matthew Stafford and Kurt Warner have done that. He is currently on pace, though, for 46, which would also tie for 7th most in league history with 2011 Drew Brees, which was a damn good version of that guy. Also, there are 35 quarterbacks in the NFL now. 35 quarterbacks with 32 teams. 35, 32. 35 quarterbacks have more interceptions than our starter, Matthew Stafford. Wide receiver Devontae Adams got his 1,000th football on Sunday. He is now tied for 16th all-time with Hines Ward, who ended his career with an even 1,000. He needs 24 receptions to tie the Reverend Isaac Bruce all-time. Bruce was passed by Keenan Allen this season, so Bruce slipping down those charts a little bit, but by the time when he retired, he was way up those lists, so obviously his bronze dome sitting in Canton, Ohio is very much appropriate. Devontae Adams also needs 3 receiving touchdowns to tie Antonio Gates for 7th most all-time and 8 to tie Larry Fitzgerald for 6th most all-time. He needs 3 touchdowns in any capacity to tie John Riggins and Antonio Gates for 15th all-time in NFL history, and that's any form of touchdown. You get your person into the end zone, and we're looking at possibly having a top 15 all-time touchdown scorer on our roster this year. He just needs to get in there 3 more times to be in that company. He also currently leads the NFL in touchdown receptions with 9. Amon-Ra has 8 in second place. 10 touchdown receptions. If he were to just stop playing right now, that would be tied for 7th most in Rams history in a single season. Rams record is 17. That was done by 1951 Elroy Hirsch. 21 Cup had 16. So Devontae, absolutely on fire, man. Yardage, not necessarily for us, at least. He had 1 yard last week. Should have been 2. I won't even get into it, but 1 yard. Puka Nacua, he is currently 3rd in the NFL in receptions behind just CMC, hilarious, and Jamar Chase, who will serve a 1-game suspension for spitting on our boy Jalen, dude. What the heck was that all about? Jamar, get out of here with that, man. Also, Puka, currently 4th in the NFL in receiving yards. He is 2nd, though, in receiving yards per game. He did miss that game, of course. And then he's played less games than everybody who has more yards than him. And then he is currently tied for 28th in the NFL in receiving touchdowns. So probably not a triple crown year. Might be able to get a double crown, though. And just as cool. Some connections that we're looking at here. Former Rams who are now on the Buccaneers. Quarterback Baker Mayfield, the Rams legend, shows up 48 hours outside of game time and then leads a 98-yard game-winning drive against the Vegas Raiders to win at SoFi Stadium, man. That pass to Van Jefferson. As soon as he launched it, it was like, yo. That was crazy, man. So, yeah, Rams legend Baker Mayfield. I'm so pumped that I got to go to a game where he was the quarterback. I got to go to the game after that, which was in Green Bay on Monday Night Football in December. Unbelievable environment. It's one of the best trips of my life, for sure. But absolutely incredible. So I'm glad I got to see that. It sucks that he did like the thing to the Raiders the week before. Then we lost in Green Bay. I got to see his 100th career touchdown pass, and then Tyler Higbee become the Rams' all-time leading touchdown scorer for tight ends in franchise history. So that was cool to see in person. And then the following week, I think it was the following week, he shows up and just destroys the Denver Broncos. And as a Colorado native, that was the best Christmas of my life. To watch my home team get wrecked by my real team 52-0 on Christmas Day. That was delicious. Absolutely delicious. Also, they are rocking with defensive lineman Greg Gaines. I think Greg Gaines' best tackle of his career was pulling down Traven Howard in the NFC Championship game after he got that pick on Jimmy Garoppolo. He's like, just end the game, dude, end the game. He tackled him. I thought that was awesome. Punter, Riley Dixon, he was around for a short time, spent some time in Denver after the Rams. Now he's with Tampa Bay. Skip Pete, running back coach. He was former running back coach for the Rams. Skip Pete, awesome coach. And then a little bit of a throwback for you here. Quarterbacks coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Thaddeus Lewis, dude. Former third-string quarterback of your St. Louis Rams. Pretty cool stuff. He did get some action in there. I want to say he was wearing number 4 at the time. He wore a couple numbers with the Rams. I want to say 12 and 4. But he was wearing number 4 when he played some games. And I don't know what it is, dude. Number 4 looks so sick on a Rams jersey. I have no idea why. My number's 9. That's always the number that I buy when I buy customs. 4 is the number that I would give Carl, my cat. I don't know. I had a little version of it. So he's number 4. And I don't know why. I don't know when I decided that, but it does feel right. You know? Maybe 3. Nah, 4. 4 on the flow. All right. Yeah, so that's your former Rams on the Buccaneers. Let's head into our matchup here. We're going to take a peek at the Rams offense going against that Bucs defense. Rams on offense have a top 10 unit. They are 9th in the league right now, putting up about 370 a game on offense. And the Bucs, 23rd in the NFL, giving up a little over 360. Passing the football, top 6 unit here for the Rams, about 247 a game. 27th ranked pass defense for the Buccaneers. That's where they're slipping. The rushing attack for the Rams, 114 a game. That's 18th in the league. And Bucs giving up just over 100 a game. It's 10th in the NFL. Average points being put up 6th in the NFL for the Rams. They're putting up about a little over 27. Well, Buccaneers are giving up 25. That is tied for 22nd. Third down conversion, The Rams are doing 38.7 of those bad boys. That's tied for 17th, so just under the midway point of the NFL there. And then Bucs defense, 39.8%. That is also 17th in the NFL. The Rams as a team, but obviously it's just Stafford, are first in the league in passing touchdown percentage and second best in interception percentage. So protecting the football and also punching it in, Matthew Stafford's absolutely on fire in those departments right now. And we've gotten a good enough sample size where it's not like, oh, that was just a good 2 or 3 game stretch. It's like, oh no, he's been doing this all year. His most recent interception was the first drive of week 3. That's been a while. Like I said, 35 quarterbacks have more interceptions thrown than Matthew Stafford. And there's been a few that you're like, oh, that made me nervous, but none that you're like, oh, that was a straight up terrible play. Like that was a terrible decision, terrible throw, terrible play. Like that hasn't happened as much. We used to be able to tell you that it's like, I mean, it's like Matthew Stafford's good for one ball a game where you're like, what the heck? But that really hasn't been the case that much lately. It seems like those what would have been a what the heck throw, he's tending to throw like at people's feet because they're covered or something like that and just get rid of the ball, get to the next play. So I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Matthew Stafford, but that's also like yeah, and also water's wet. You know, I don't know if you knew that. So some opposing players that we're keeping our eyes on in this game, obviously injury reports, we're still kind of waiting on a few of those. But Yaya Diaby, he leads the team with 4 sacks. He does get to the quarterback, 10 hits on the year, and 7 TFLs for Diaby. What I will say is, like, when I first saw these numbers, I was like, all right. Like, my face was literally like, but it was like, oh, yeah, I'm judging those numbers like compared to Jared Verse and Byron Young, which isn't fair, especially for Diaby, who's a good player, but like, you need to put him against our dudes. Those guys are just, those guys are maniacs, man. Not everybody's maniac, all right? Sometimes people are just good players. That's what Diaby is. Next up, cornerback Jamel Dean, 3 picks on the year. He does lead the team there. He is rather high up on the list in the league. The league leader has 5. There's a bunch with 4, 3 obviously right below that. He's still dealing with a bit of an injury. He does have a pick 6 on the season. He has knocked down 6 passes, 2 forced fumbles on the year as well, and a sack, which means he's getting involved in all kinds of different ways and fashions. He's helping out in the runs. He's attacking when the ball's out. He's obviously been able to get home on a sack. So I don't know how often they necessarily do that, but it is something he is at least capable of. And obviously, like I said, 3 interceptions, 6 passes knocked down. Jamel Dean, very good player, obviously. And nose tackle Vita Vea, a dense little pocket in that Buccaneers defense. It's kind of like the best way I feel like I can describe how Vita Vea is. But he feels like he might have gravitational pull. He is 6'4", 347, which is still 145 pounds lighter than the Rams kicker punter duo. Just saying. That's a big boy, but that's a lot. He needs a lot of weight to add up. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Best one-on-one for Rams offense versus the Bucs defense. I'm going to go with Davante Adams versus Jamel Dean. I do anticipate that there will be some traveling going on with Dean, which I do think obviously opens up stuff for Puka Nacua, but we talk about that every single week, so I don't want to hammer that too hard. But what I will say is that Davante Adams is on what I would consider a heater. Like, he is doing a really, really good job. He's just not getting as many looks. I mean, the last week was a hard one. 1 catch, 1 yard, 1 touchdown. That's a very difficult one, though, because the Rams got absolutely smoked in time of possession, smoked in first downs. I think we had 12 first downs in that game. Like, shout out Seahawks defense. They did a great job against us, but also I think that's one of those things where it's like we just didn't really have opportunities in that game. It didn't. Each game's got its own vibe, its own personality, and stuff like that. And that game last week just didn't really cater to the Rams and what they like to do on offense. It's okay, though. Still came out with a win. Lots to learn from, which is at least good news there. But Davante Adams going against Jamel Dean, this is certainly a matchup that I'll be keeping my eyes on. When I see Davante go out wide, I'm going to be looking at who's on him. When it's Jamel Dean, probably pay a little bit more close attention to that matchup, because that's some good stuff. 3 to see for the Rams side here. We're going to start with quarterback Matthew Stafford, who is having his best career season. He is off to, I don't even want to say off to an unreal start or anything like that. We're week 12, dude. He's having a great season. No bones about it, man. Matthew Stafford, a 27-2 ratio. He's way up there in passing yards. He's crushing everybody. But I always say that because when I'm having these conversations at the bar, I always kind of like cap it with like, but he's also throwing to Puka and Devontae. He better be doing that. Like that's if he's doing anything. Well, I don't say anything less because those are crazy numbers still. But like if he is doing like worse than this, we got problems, dude. Because you got 2 future Hall of Famers that you're throwing footballs to. And maybe a third in Terrence Ferguson. I don't know. Who am I, man? Who am I to say that he's not going to be, or Mump? Who knows, dude? Who knows? But Matthew Stafford, obviously, he's just leading this team in such a way that is unreal to watch. He's got complete control, it feels like. The no-looks are unbelievable. He's pulling them out all the time on everybody. No one's safe. Don't look at him, okay? Look at who's out and open, dude, because that's where the ball's going. All right, you don't look at Matthew Stafford. That does not tell you where the ball's going. Look around you. Find somebody who's not covered. That's where the ball's going, all right, because Matthew Stafford sees them, and by the time you look over there, you look up back at Matthew Stafford, he's making direct eye contact with you and then scoring touchdowns over here. Pretty sick, actually. Next up, running back Kyren Williams. So K-Dub, obviously, on the ground attack here for the Rams. This is going to be, it feels like a game where you're going to want to just jump out and then control it. So the plan in my brain, which, I'm not like in meeting rooms or anything like that, but my plan in this game is very much just like jump out, score 2 or 3 as quick as you can, bring out the run game. Mix it up with K-Dub and Blake and just kind of see how that shakes. You know what I'm saying? So Kyren, obviously, very important to every one of our football games. He's an extremely talented player. He's got his court-mandated touchdown that he gets every week. Those are the rules. I don't make them. But obviously in this game as well, going against a team that can stop the run. They this team is 10th against the run. Very in line with where the Rams rank. I think they only do like 0.3 yards better, which is exactly right. So, they're solid against the run, but also there's a lot of ability to pass on them. So I think that a lot of teams are just kind of choosing that route. And the last one on our 3 to see here, I want to go with wide receiver Puka Nacua. It's so easy to put him on this list, just like it is easy to put Jared Verse on this list. But Puka Nacua, man, for this game specifically, this just feels like, and I don't even know how to explain that. I don't even know if that makes any sense. The feeling of just like, oh, this is a Puka game. Like, this is a game where Puka just goes crazy, right? Like, because, like, they're going to put attention on Devontae, especially in the red zone and stuff like that. But now we've got Puka Nacua, who's just going to be eaten up underneath. And in fairness, like, his average yards per catch is, like, pretty low in the NFL. But those first downs, those quick hitters, those just, like, you need 2 yards, you know who to get the football to, stuff like that. And then just everything that he's doing, route running, ability of body control, knowledge of where he's at on the field as well as everybody else, to drop a butt cheek into the field of play so you can get a reception and stuff like that. I mean, it's unreal, man. A lot of things that this team is doing is unreal. Coming off of a game where the Rams offense did not get going, though, I'm really excited to see what they can do against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have shown the ability to give up points. Their offense is very, very good. They can give up points, though, for sure. So we'll see what happens there. Keys to success in this matchup, I'm going to go with the Rams offense. Just like I said, sputtering a little bit last week. The idea is that this week will be much better ball control and sustained drives. We want to see better on third down. We want to see longer drives. Just, giving your defense a chance to catch their breaths a little bit more than we did last week. Like 22 minutes of time of possession last week is god-awful. We got to improve that number. You got to make sure that your defense isn't just getting absolutely winded out there like crazy. Flip over to the other side here. Rams defense going against that Bucs offense. Bucs on offense right in the middle of the road here. They're about 346.5 yards per game. Rams are 17th, giving up 341, passing the rock 222.2. That is 15th in the league for the Bucs offense attack. And the Rams give up 222.3, so 21st in the league. If the Bucs put up 222 passing yards, checks out, dude. Checks out. Rushing the football, 22nd in the league for the Bucs offense. They put up 110 a game. The Rams give up 100.7. That's 11th in the league, just behind the Bucs defense there. Average points being put up, 10th in the league for the Bucs offense, just over 25 a game. Rams give it up just over 17. That is second in the league. And third down, almost 39% for the Bucs offense in conversion rates, and the Rams giving up under 35%, which is 5th in the league. Some notes here. Obviously, the Rams defense doing a great job. I mean, the points, I think, is the biggest thing. You can look at the Rams giving up, they're 17th in total yards, 2nd in points, and 5th in third down, which means, you can move the football on first and second down. But when it gets to third, those screws get tightened up. And not giving up a lot of points, not giving up a lot of third down conversions, but it is a little bit of like a wait and see, that bend but don't break, which I kind of hate that phrase, but it also does feel very accurate for how the Rams operate on defense under Chris Shula, which is very much like, you can get 10 yards from your own 20 if you need to. That's cool. Go ahead. We don't have to crush your soul that hard. You know what I mean? But if you get to the 50, we're tightening it up. You ain't scoring no points. You can get from the 20 to the 50, sure. 30 yards, have them. That's cool. Go ahead. That's when it ends, so you know what I mean? So I absolutely love that plan from the Rams defense. I love that they were able to tighten that up. Rams defense is 7th in yards per play and 2nd in takeaways, only behind the Chicago Bears, who, by the way, are averaging 1 takeaway every 5 drives. What? That's crazy, dude. Chicago Bears defense is nuts right now. Rams defense also 7th in passing touchdowns allowed and are tied for 1st in rushing touchdowns allowed. So obviously that's where your points are getting as well, keeping those bad boys low. Rams defense blitzes less than only the Bengals. Only the Bengals blitz less often than the Rams, but the Rams are 7th in the league in pressures. So those 4 dudes getting home, and that is helping that secondary out a ton. They talked about that on some show this week for the Rams. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but they talked about that they trust that those guys are going to be able to get home, and then you can keep extra people in the secondary, which is messing with offenses. When you have the ability to send in 3 or 4 dudes and get to the quarterback still, 25% pressure rate on 17.8% blitz rate. We're pressuring way more than we're blitzing. That's good news, man. And that just means your front is absolutely full of maniacs, which we already knew, but is good news, of course. Some opposing players we're going to keep our eyes on here. Obviously, Baker Mayfield, the Rams legend. We already talked about him a bit, but Baker Mayfield, obviously extremely talented quarterback and can kind of turn it on at any moment. And that's why I'm putting him on here, is he may be having a game where it's he's doing okay. He's fine. But then out of nowhere, he puts together a drive where you're like, who else can do that? There's 4 dudes in the league that can pull that off. And he's one of them. It happens to be. So Baker, obviously, quite the path for Baker Mayfield. A couple of stops out there. Cleveland, Carolina, obviously came over to the Rams. So settle into a home in Tampa Bay. Happy for him. If we didn't have Stafford, I would hope that Baker was our quarterback today, but we got Stafford, so I'm okay with this. Mika Egbuka, incredible rookie wide receiver. Obviously, he is in that group with Baker Mayfield, dealing with an illness on Wednesday, not practicing, which we obviously don't want to see. Any edge you can get is cool, I guess. I didn't choose this, so I guess whatever. But obviously, we want to play people at their highest capacity. Not only because if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and if you want to beat the best, you got to play the best, kind of thing. I used to say it a lot, but also in the sense of we're getting into the playoffs right now, we need to know where we're at. And so we want them to be at their best so that we can kind of say okay, that was their best version of themselves and we won by this much, or we were able to do this, or we lost by this much, so we need to get this much better, kind of thing. And it kind of just helps you gauge yourself. If you're beating up on teams that are terrible and beat up, it's hard to judge this team based on the win against the Baltimore Ravens. What does that even mean? You know what I mean? But then you can look at a game like last week against the Seattle Seahawks where it's that's a really good, strong win. They played damn good football and the Seahawks were healthy and fine. So that's kind of where my brain goes to it, is I want everybody to beat their best so that I know exactly how good the Rams are. Because in my heart, they're number 1, dude. But my brain is well, not all the time, But right now, absolutely, they're way up there, if not the best team in the NFL. They are in that conversation. And then I'm going to end with Chris Godwin. I'm actually not sure if he's going to play here. He didn't play last week, but was limited. I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. I'll also kind of just throw in a Bucky Irving, too. He's been missing some time, but is looking like he's going to be coming back here soon. Thought he might get in there last week, but then didn't. So, but there's just some, I mean, let's call it what it is, some really talented players on the Buccaneers offense. We can talk about plenty of names. Obviously, we're kind of lucky, I guess. We don't get to play Mike Evans. I say we don't get to play Mike Evans. I think he's absolutely awesome. We don't get to play Mike Evans, which is unfortunate. He's kind of just, he's had his prime. I love that dude. I'm a Texas A&M fan, Big Maggies. But like, so he's had his time to be at the top of the league and stuff like that. But it's just kind of a bummer to see him kind of starting to get beat up and stuff like that. It's like, oh man, these meat puppets tend to fall apart. No matter how incredible you are as a human being, no matter how athletic and stuff. It's unfortunate. Best one-on-one, Rams defense going against that Bucs offense. I'm going to go with Nate Landman versus Baker Mayfield. And the reason that I'm going with this is because Quentin Lake got added to IR right now. Captain Q, who was the green dot for the Rams last year. So clearly a big presence. And also he was having his best career season. So it's really unfortunate to see him go down. We may get him back for the playoffs. Is kind of the word, but it doesn't look like we'll be getting him back regular season, which is unfortunate for sure. But Quentin Lake being out, Captain Q, I think that Nate Landman now has a little bit more pressure on him. Not that I think that he's going to like do poorly with that or anything like that, but I do think it's a little bit more pressure now. It's like, okay, now we got two young guys behind you. You don't have Lake behind you anymore. You got the Cams. You got Kinchins. You got Curl, and Tank will be in there as well, Jalen McCullough. So you got some younger guys in there. So just a little bit more of a glance back, like making sure everybody's in their spots kind of thing. So I do think that Nate Landman, his role is extremely crucial while Quentin Lake is out. But Baker Mayfield, it's his job also to try to trick Nate Landman and try to call out things that Nate's picking out and trying to get his way around that. Obviously, wiggle his offense down the field is the goal. You knew that. We're going to go with 3 to C on the Rams defensive side here. I cheated in this one, and I don't even care. So I'm going to go with the Cams, Kinchins, and Curl. Curl has as many solo tackles in the season as Bobby Wagner. That's awesome. Kinchins coming off another 2-pick game versus the Seahawks. I think he hates the Seahawks. He's got to, right? I mean, every time he plays them, he's like, I'm gonna crush them, stuff them down. Curl also, by the way, 20th in the league in total tackles. So he's flying around. He's doing an incredible job. And Kinchins, now he is definitely going to have an increased role with Lake being out. So definitely the Cams. Time to maybe make that a sweet little combo. Not that I want to lose Lake or anything like that, but historically speaking, the Rams haven't been excited to pay safeties, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I would love that to happen, but just again, historically speaking. So yeah, Cams is my number 1. And number 2, V8 and BY. I make the rules on this show, and I can use 5 people on the 3 to see if I want to. 2 games without a sack for the Rams defense. These maniacs are going to start to get hungry, man. And who's going to get the wrath? That's the biggest question, right? Who is going to get the wrath? It might very well be Baker Mayfield. These guys are going to start to get hungry, man. And we're going to start to get a little antsy. We were way up there in sacks. I think the Rams are like 9th in sacks now in the league. Coming off 2 division games where Rams were not able to get any. And that just, I think, goes to coaching on those teams of just kind of being able to spot things, and you can start to get to know each other a little bit, so they kind of know what to do. And all of our division knows, get the hell rid of the football. Like if you're doing a 5-step drop, you're messing up, man. You got to grab that football, find the laces, get rid of that thing. Like that's pretty much what you got to do against the Rams. Otherwise, you're getting absolutely smashed by Jared Verse, and nobody wants that, dude. Nobody wants to. You look up and you see a number 8 flying at you. And I feel like his face is probably like, probably. But obviously, like I said, 2 games without a sack. But those guys are still way up there in pressures. They're still getting there. They're still making moves and stuff like that. But against a team that, in Todd Bowles' coached team, that is not a division opponent, former, but not currently, then I do think that this is an opportunity for the Rams to start to get home on the quarterback. And then last, we're going to stick with Nate Landman. He's all business, man. It feels like he's just here to play some football, and he's killing it. I absolutely love that. He's 10th in the league in total tackles. He does lead the Rams in that regard, but it does feel like he just doesn't care about anything else but football. He just wants to play ball and do a good job. It's like people even talk, like, whenever they bring up, like, do you like the nickname Landman? And he's like, sure. He's like, whatever, dude. Like, I just want to hit somebody. Like, just Nate Landman out here just like, That's my impression of Nate Landman. Nailed it, by the way. Keys to victory on the Rams defensive side here. I'm just going to say continue to get off the field. They've done a really good job of that. Obviously, 4 turnovers last week on Sam Darnold. But just keep doing that. Put your offense in good position to just get short fields and then let Matthew Stafford go to work, dude. You get defense to get a couple turnovers. Tell Stafford to clock in. It's game over, man. That's it feels like it really can be that simple sometimes. So just like turn the ball over. We're at your 40? Good luck, dude. Matthew Stafford could do that all day, man. He doesn't even have to. Literally could do it blindfolded, man. He doesn't look at his receivers anyway. So what's the difference, man? So I'm going to say that again for this game. Turnovers, I think, are going to be critical. Bucs offense can score, so getting them off the field, ruining their rhythm, definitely going to be critical. And I wanted to mention some special teams notes here. I don't have a special teams section here, so I just wanted to kind of toss these in. Oh, we are going to go way over time. Shout out. Bucs have 2 return touchdowns on the year, but they have also given up 2 return touchdowns on the year. Rams have basically given up on the knuckleballs that we saw earlier this year with Cardi. Rams have kicked 29 touchbacks. That is most in the NFL. In second is the Dallas Cowboys with 15. So very much just booting it out, getting rid of it. Rams said F it and just reverted back to trusting the defense despite field position. So that's cool. Rams touchback percentage on punts is tied for 9th best in the league, which I absolutely love. And Rams lead the league in inside 20 percentage. So Rams are tied for 3rd in total punts inside the 20, but we punt a lot less than some other teams. So those numbers are incredible. And then obviously you have, like moments where Ethan Evans puts the punt at the inch line, and you're like, that's what? Yeah, who said it? Somebody mentioned that. It was like, you can't do it better if you walked it down there. Like, that's exactly where you would put it if you walked the ball down there and was like, I'm going to put it here. Like, that's where you would put it. So that's absolutely unbelievable. And then random trivia for you. I'm not sure what you guys are supposed to do with this information. Random trivia here. All right. I'm going to go with this one. You can feel free to answer in the comment section below. What combo weighs more? Okay. Jake McQuaid and what is it? Hold on. I'm a liar. Okay, I'll just do this one. Let's do a different one. Oh yeah, I lied. Take it all back. You guys are watching a whole thought process unfold right now. This is great. Okay, what combo is heavier? Davis Allen, Rams tight end, and outside linebacker Josiah Stewart, tight end, outside linebacker, or Ethan Evans and Harrison Mevis. Combo weighs more. What do you think? Make sure you check out our game preview on Friday on First and Tuna podcast, as well as the Ram Showcase YouTube channel will be on the for Tuna and the Sheriff. That is 7 a.m. LA time. Audio version also is available just about everywhere: Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. So be sure to check us out there. But big old football game going on. Sunday Night Football. Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to town. Baker Mayfield and the boys coming on to take on Matthew Stafford and our Rams, man. It should be a fun matchup against 2 really good teams who are both, jockeying for playoff position. So obviously these games are absolutely massive. NFC games are already massive no matter what, but you put this bad boy in November in prime time against another team who's jockeying for position, and you got yourself some just good old-fashioned perfect football, dude. Nothing to complain about. But thank you for hanging out for our game preview. We got Fan Quesos fan question segment. That's coming on the other side of this. This is a Ram Showcase. All right, welcome back in Ram Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags. We've got a bunch of fan quesos here and not a lot of time left on my memory card. So we're going to try to plow through these. I do want to give you guys awesome answers, though. That is certainly the goal. This is definitely the most questions I've had, though, in quite a while. So we are certainly going to do whatever we can to get through all of these. I'm going to pull up one message thread here as well, because we got some questions in a lot of places. So, actually, let's start with this one since I've already got it in my hand. This one come from Gary. Met Gary in Green Bay, that game I was talking to you about. Baker Mayfield played in that game. What up? Says, I still like the 1960s white and blue uniforms the best. Which ones do you guys like the best? I would say my personal favorite of all list of times is certainly the throwbacks of like the Eric Dickerson with like the 40 patch on it and stuff like that. I just think those are just genuinely one of the coolest uniforms in sports. I not just because I'm a Rams fan or anything like that. I just think those are absolutely pinnacle. So, yeah, I understand those 1960s whites, man, for sure. Really, really cool uniforms. I liked the blue version of them more when it was blue and white. I did like the darks, but yeah, those are. I mean, nothing bad about those, man. But if I had to pick one of a current combo or a current jersey or anything like that, I do really like the bone jersey. Personal favorite of mine. My favorite combo is bone on sole, but we probably won't see that again. So I had my time with it. It was fun, but that's okay. Either way, Rams are going to look dope and win a bunch of football games. So next also coming here from Gary says, with Merlin Olsen having been on TV with Father Murphy, who would little Aaron Donald be on TV? Oh man, that's so funny. That's a hard question. I want to give him like a I think he would do too well in like a Fast and the Furious cameo. I think he would be too dope, you know what I mean? That's so hard, dude. If it's a person that's already existing though, I would say he would replace Lou Ferrigno in King of Queens. Is that what you're asking? I don't know. That's a fun question though. Let's see here. Not sure if this gets in on time. Oh, you nailed it. That was a long time ago. That was 6 hours ago, dude. You were way ahead. But it seemed to me like Stafford was missing his receivers in the Seattle game. Not necessarily wrong. I think that ultimately what I saw was really good coverage from Seattle, and Matthew Stafford kind of trying to overcorrect a little bit more than he has had to against other teams this year. That's kind of what I would say. But yeah, it is definitely a little bit of a different game offensively entirely, not just Matthew Stafford in that one. Oh yeah, and there was your question there. That was also in the DM. So thank you, man. Let's see. And then we've got another one here from Payo. Says, let's talk unis. Said the Rams filed for new unis next year. So what combo do I want to see? And I'll be completely honest. This is the single most honest answer I can give you. I don't care. I'm interested in it, and I'm very excited to see what we do get. But as far as my picks or like what I want to see or anything like that, I'm very indifferent. I'm cool with whatever they got. Whatever they give us, I'm going to love. I'm going to buy it. I will say the only thing that I don't like is like I just got this jersey recently, Puka Nacua, stuff like that. But hearing that the Rams have filed for jersey stuff, it's like, oh, freeze on all my purchasing. It's like, I understand it was just a rumor that is unconfirmed and it's probably true, but we don't know that necessarily. Is like, I'm now not buying stuff. Like, it's like, oh, because what if we get a modification to the logo or something like that? It's like, well, I've got plenty of this current stuff right now, so now it's time to hoard and wait until the new stuff comes out so that I can update if I need to, such as jerseys or whatever it happens to be. I like to be up to date. I like to rock the new gear. Sue me. This hat was the hat that I got right when the logo released. It was like my first purchase. I wanted the Ram head hat. It was sold out right away. I have one now somewhere. But yeah, this one, I bought this hat. This is my first new logo, merch. Love this hat. But yeah, it's I can't even put it into words how indifferent I am on what they give us. I'm gonna rock it no matter what. I just really don't want to see something like what the Arizona Cardinals have done, which is they always wear the same color jersey and pants. Oh, Gary, your questions are here too. Dude, first of all, thank you for that. I didn't have to chase you at all. Dude, that is so cool. Yeah, I love that. And it also says, a little message here from Gary says, I always look forward to your show. Thanks so much for keeping up the good work. Dude, thank you so much. If my numbers were all zeros every single week, I would have no real reason to do this. So genuinely appreciate you. Let's see here. Edwin. Next few here coming from Edwin. Emphasis on the win. Dude, what a game. Glad he missed that kick at the end. Now the Rams are first in the West. You right. Says, why is Ethan Evans the best punter in the league? Because he's the strongest player in the league. He is awesome, dude. He is the best around, dude. Nothing's ever going to keep him down. Yeah, Ethan Evans, man, I think we are certainly a spoiled fan base going from Hecker and then having like a couple of guys and then Ethan Evans. That's not fair. That's incredible, though. Coming out of Wingate, dude, Ethan Evans, obviously he can lift up anything. He's a dad, right? Because he's got dad strength, which is crazy. But yeah, he's just no one's better than Ethan Evans, dude. Strongest player in the NFL, any position. Fight me on that. Says number 2. It seemed like Devontae was playing hurt during the game. Would you be okay with the Rams signing a wide receiver to add some depth? Maybe OBJ. I don't know if he's really dealing with something. I know that he had that little back tweak thing that we saw a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure if that's really holding him back. I would love to see OBJ return. I don't think the Rams have any interest. So I've kind of removed it from my own brain of like trying to care about it because I just really don't think the Rams have any interest in bringing him back. Although, like I said, I think it would be really cool. But no, I would say we don't really need to add anybody. We're going to get Tutu back eventually. Witt, we don't even really use. Mump is looking solid. X is getting some playing time as well. So, I think we're doing okay. Number 3, if you could only keep Landman, Durant, or Young after the season, who would you prefer to keep? I'd quit. I was kidding. With those 3, obviously I'd want Young, but Verse on the other side leads me to want Landman. We know what it means to not have a good inside linebacker, and the Rams have found one with Nate Landman, so I think that's somebody that you should keep. I think that the evidence is there of that, like, our defense is that much better when we have a guy like him. Durant, I absolutely love the land shark, but as far as like our corners go, I hate to say the words because it's like it's not how I truly feel. Like he is more expendable though than somebody like Landman or Young in that sense as well. So head over to the YouTube channel. I'm sorry guys. I'm not trying to plow through too quickly here, but I am going to run out of time on this thing. I've got about what it looks like 20 minutes. Oof, all right. I'm a talker, guys, so we'll see. I got 12. Yikes. All right. Let's go. We're just going to go down the list here. This one's coming from Payo time. Shout out, Payo. Welcome back, dude. You've been missing these, so it's cool to have you back in here, man. Says, could you just nerd out about Ethan Evans for a bit? Oh, hell yeah. If you haven't already this episode. Yo, just did, dude. Says, what was the best punt? I don't think I finished Edwin's message. How sick was that life-size AD bobblehead? The sickest, dude. I don't know why I did that to you, Edwin. I'm so sorry. It's like, all I kept thinking about was how good it would look good in my office. You put that thing right here, dude. And be like, doing the show like this. Like, yo, what's up? And then says, go Rams, go Joe. Go Edwin. Emphasis on the win. All right, back to Payo. If you haven't already this episode, that was the best punt ever, given the circumstances and execution. You're absolutely right. I feel like that took the wind out of the Seahawks' wings a little bit. I feel like they kind of like that punt hit and they were just kind of, come on, you know? It's like, I know the Seahawks fan that was at the bar felt that way of just like, seriously? Like, what are we supposed to do with that? And then they put the ball at the 1, which first of all, what the heck? I had a lot of issues with the spots of the ball placement in these, so I guess we got that. Next one here come from Tatua Jess. I think I said that right. Says, I don't have a queso, just joining for Pants Picks. This is what I was talking about. The game sweeping the nation. Even my mom plays it, dude. You know. I'm going with Soul Pants. Yes, we're soul sisters. Love the show. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. That was absolutely awesome. You're the first participant of Pants Picks outside of us, so I genuinely appreciate that. I think it's fun. I think it's really fun to like get into it and just like be like, ooh, I think they'll win this because of this, and then it comes out. Ooh, and First Down Rams is starting right now, so I want to check that out. This one comes from Paul. Do you think Mevis will be the Rams kicker for the rest of the season? I don't. I do think that Cardi comes back and is our kicker. I really do. I don't know if I'm alone there or not, but yeah, I do think that I think Cardi being around on the roster still right now is a sign that he does come back. Rams house. Whose house? Or favorite Malley Cat moment for those of you that don't know, Malley Cat is Malcolm Brown. I'll be honest. Did not know that. I was going to be like, who are you talking about? Did not know that. But my favorite Malcolm Brown moment would be 2020, where Malcolm Brown ended up becoming the first player to score a touchdown at SoFi Stadium. I think that would be it. He also had a real sick little toe tap touchdown. Oh, I don't even remember who that was against. That was crazy, though, man. I lost my mind on that one, man. That one was absolutely awesome. Malcolm Brown was sick, though, man. I would say decently underrated player. If the Rams uniform news is true about us requesting to change them for next year, what are your thoughts? I know uniforms don't decide wins or losses. You're absolutely right. But curious to hear your perspective if the Rams really did change them. Would you like it, or would you rather keep what we have? I don't hate what we have, but I'm also fine with changing. I did talk about this in the early portion of the show, so I have all that. But yeah, my thoughts are like aggressive indifference, dude. Aggressively average, man. Like I don't know. I really don't know how to put it into words. Like, I love uniforms. I like talking about them. I like getting into them and stuff like that. But as far as like, what do I want? What do I want to see? I don't care. Like, I'll talk about what we have, what we did, what we've done, what we will do, what we might do, what we did in the 1949 with the red, stuff like that. I'm down to talk about all that. But as far as like my personal preferences and stuff like that, like I've got things that I like and stuff, but I'm not going to ever hate anything that we've got. I'm not going to be given a Rams uniform where they're like, hey, this is what we wear at home games now, and be like, bleh, gross. Come on, Demoff. What are you I'm not going to be that guy. I can't. I think that's mean words. I'm not even going to get into that because I think that's absolutely ridiculous to do that, to rip your team because of the uniforms you're wearing. It's like, dude, get over it. And I know people disagree, and people are like, it represents us and all this stuff. Like, that's fine. You can feel that way. I'm not telling you how to feel. That's fine. Do what you got to do. But as far as like tweeting Kevin Demoff, chill. Payo time. If you had to come up with a Rams brand household product, Payo, welcome back. What would you do? What would you want them to make? I would want Stafford Smile toothpaste. That's a good pick. Give me. It's not necessarily a household product, but give me, based on me as a human, give me a Kobe Turner custom guitar. I feel like he would have like a really, really nice acoustic made by like Washburn or something like that. That would just be like so sick. Maybe an Ovation, actually. I don't know why Ovation feels like a Kobe Turner brand to me. Yeah, that's I don't know, man. I feel like he would come up with some like a really nice custom acoustic guitar. You just play some real sweet tunes on, man. I'll have to pull out the guitar here for you guys sometime. Do something for you. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll make something. That'll be what I do. That's my pick, though. It's a good pick. That's a good question. I want to know what other people would pick. I gotta hurry. Payo time. So this might seem like a strange question. I'm already in. But what are your thoughts on the Rams or NFL teams extending players in season? Like, I see other teams do it here and there, but it doesn't seem to be a Rams thing. But with guys like Landman on a 1-year prove-it deal, I can't help but think that he could be a good player to extend. Fair. My concern would be if Shula got a head coaching job somewhere, he might follow him as a free agent. Just some thoughts I've had. Thanks for listening. Love the show. All right. You're welcome, Payo. You're welcome for listening. That tripped me up. That's so funny. The thanks for listening got me, dude. That tripped me up. Anyway, I would like to see Landman extended in season. We can because he's not on a rookie contract. He came over via free agency, so we can do that. But I would say it's not really a Rams thing. I'm not sure he makes it to free agency. I'll say that. But I do think that he comes back. I don't think it's something we see. I think this is a contract extension in March. I really do. I don't think he makes it to free agency, but I don't know if we do it in season. Because you're right. We just don't. It's not really a thing. I mean, we've seen it before. I remember, well, I guess it's even been a while. That was like 20. Oh, no, it was preseason. I was thinking Tavon Austin. I got the news of Tavon Austin's extension as I was walking up to the Broncos Stadium, Rams and Broncos. That was preseason, though, so it was a little bit different. Let's see here. Question, do you think the rivalry jerseys will be something we see more than twice a year next season? Love the show. No, I do not. I think it's just an NFL rule. I don't think that they would let us. I'll be honest. I really don't think that they would allow that to happen. We get 3 games with them. They set the rules. They set the precedent. 1 game per season has to be at your home stadium, not even at a home game, like if you're in London or something like that. Home stadium, so we can only wear them at SoFi Stadium, and it has to be against a division opponent. They made those rules. I don't see why they would make an exception for us. So, let's see. Rams house. Favorite Talib moment with the Rams? That's a tough one. I almost feel like he didn't really do too much. I got Marcus Peters moments out the wazoo, dude. But Talib moments, I'm not even... I have to put a pin in that one, man. I'm not even sure I have one. I don't know why I can picture Talib walking out for media day for the Super Bowl. That's like my image of Talib with the Rams. That's so weird. Anyway, I'm coming back to GP Shadow here. I'll end there. Let's see here. Let's see. If Kobe Durant was a candy, I got this. No, I lied. Okay, if Kobe Durant was a candy, what candy would he be? Okay, so he's kind of small, very fiery, very aggressive, loud. I'm gonna go Airheads. Actually, I think Airheads feels appropriate. Not a derogatory term. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like that they like the powerful flavors. It's it's bad for you, but you also love them. You know? I don't know if that makes any sense. I hate that I'm trying to go fast because I feel like my brain is like, get out of here. All right. Next one here from Rams House. Who on the Rams would you invite over for Thanksgiving dinner? P.S. They'd be joining you and your family, so choose wisely. I will say this. For my Thanksgiving, I know you're not supposed to do this, but I've blown off the bulk of my family for Thanksgiving. So it used to be this big thing, go to uncles, aunts, all this stuff. Cousins are all there. Massive thing. It's typically an energy that I don't fit into, very much black sheep of family kind of personality type. I end up like kind of sitting by myself for a little while and I'm like, I'm just going to go home. There's been like times where it's like aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever, won't even talk to me the entire time that I'm somewhere. So it's just like, yeah, I don't like this. I'm getting out of here, going home, and then just go home and watch football or something like that. So, but we've in the last X amount of years, we've narrowed it down, and it's actually just me, my dad, my sister, and my niece. My sister's boyfriend will now be there. My sister is now expecting, which is very exciting stuff. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be another uncle. Which is very cool. So we do that Thanksgiving, and it's typically just the four of us with my niece Zayla, who's like my favorite friggin' person in the universe. I got her picture up here. I've got pictures everywhere. She's the best. But so we just do that, do some kind of small scale. We usually play some games, watch some football, crush some beers and scotch and stuff like that. Scotch, love scotch. Yeah, just kind of hang out, man. It's low key. It's fun. It's like that's what I need. I don't need a big family thing. I say all that to say this. For that, I think that like the vibe that my family has at the Thanksgiving event is very low key. Like we go big as far as food goes and all that stuff. Like it is a holiday for sure, but I feel like the energy we bring needs a Kobe Turner. It needs Kobe Turner and his wife. You know what I mean? Like seeing stuff from her, seeing stuff from Kobe, I feel like they would fit in so well into our vibe and our energy and our entire thing. I also think that like somebody like Puka would fit in really well. I would say Stafford, but he's got too many pluses, dude. Yeah, Stafford plus 5, dude. That changes the whole setup. You know what I mean? That's why I say just like a couple. Like I need like a Kobe and his wife kind of thing, because Stafford and then the you get Kelly and then the 4 girls. That's a lot of business, man. But in fairness, in credit to my niece, I think that she would at least have fun with the 4 other girls being there. But my niece is now 11, so maybe she'd be like a little too like, these are children. Get these kids out of here. It's like, you're a child. Whatever. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with my answer of Kobe Turner. Also, I'm trying to find a way where me and Kobe Turner can make some music, dude. I want to play guitar with Kobe, man. Let him sing. Let's hit like Mad World by Gary Jules or something with Kobe Turner. New dream. All right. Last one here. We're going to go to GP Shadow. He says 9 sacks or 4 picks. Which performance against Sam Darnold was better or more enjoyable? Also, do you think the Rams defense has Sam Darnold's number? We for sure have Sam Darnold's number, dude. I think Sam Darnold has his own number when it comes to the Rams, though. I think that he just gets in his head, man. I think that he cannot play us well. Like, it's just one of the... Like, you know how there's like certain players who are like Ram killers? Like every time we'd play him, it's like, damn, I don't want to play Steve Smith. He's going to go off for 110. He's going to give somebody the finger. He's going to get in a fight and he's going to make us look stupid in some capacity. Hate it. Don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, or there's like my best example is Steve Smith. But then you also had the flip side of that. So like people that like you want to play them every time because you know you're going to crush them. Sam Darnold's at the top of that list right now. For your question, 9 sacks or 4 picks, which performance against Sam Darnold was better or more enjoyable? They were both wins, so I'll take that. 4 picks, can't sneeze that one bit. But I think that 9 sacks is just so demoralizing. And it's not just demoralizing for that player, for the quarterback getting sacked. It's like that offensive lineman has to go help his guy up like, yo, my bad. And then your wide receivers are like, dude, I was wide open, man. You didn't even get this ball out kind of thing. It's like picks and stuff like that. Like picks are different because it's like the offensive line can be like, we protected. I don't know what you're doing back there. Receivers can be like, dude, I was not open. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like that clearly didn't, like that one to Cup didn't even get there. You know what I mean? Like Cam is scooping down and stealing balls all over the place. So obviously you got that part of it, man. But I think that the 9 sacks demoralizes the whole offense. Whereas, and I know it's not true with the 4 sacks, because like a lot of people are like, oh, well, the 4 sacks. It's like, well, yeah, Sam Darnold, you know, he sucked. He was terrible. So it's like, well, actually, I just think the Rams secondary just did an incredible job. But when like you have that though to fall back on, you can say like, well, it was Sam though. Like we were protecting, we were running routes fine. Sam was not getting the ball where it needs to be. But as far as the sacks go, it's like that's a team thing. You could look at your receivers, be like, you guys got to get open. What are you doing? I can't sit back here for 15 seconds try to find you. Get open. Offensive line, you can tell them like, dude, I need some time back here, man. Hold up. So it's not just on one player, or can be just on one player. Interceptions, obviously, we know that that's a lot of different moving pieces and stuff like that. Sacks as well. But I think that sacks as a whole, there's 5 more of them in that game in the playoffs. And I think overall just demoralizes an entire team a little bit more than interception. Boom. Thank you for your fan quesos. Shout out everybody who participate this week. Appreciate y'all. Genuinely. Really love this segment. I just hate that I have to fly through it sometimes. I have a bunch of them. Might have to split this up into like a different episode or something like that. Just like we'll do a fan quesos. That's it. Just fan quesos kind of. We'll see. Because in fairness, the game preview show got all the way to an hour. So we're pushing it. Yeah, this is a long episode. With that, though, we'll go and get out of here. Remember, Tuna and the Sheriff, Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the First Tuna Podcast YouTube channel and Ram Showcase Facebook page. We are live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. Check us out there. Audio version also available. Let's see. We've got the First Down Rams show with Payo in Rams House. That's every Wednesday live. What other shows are there? I'm trying to think. That's it for now, I guess. At Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags, where you follow along on socials, ramshowcase.com. Do appreciate you guys hanging out. That is going to do it for me, though. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. This has been Ram Showcase on Sports War Radio and the Fansided Network. For those of you who aren't Rams fans, our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who are Rams fans, thank you so much for watching, and go Rams.